In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the last way of solving a system, and that is by matrices. And when you're solving systems by matrices, you can use your calculator to solve them. So here are our steps. The first step is to make sure both of your equations are in standard form. Now, just as a reminder, the equation for standard form is ax plus by equals c. So I should have my x's first, then my y's, and then it should equal our constant. Then step two is going to go to the calculator. Once you're in the calculator window, you will press menu 7 for matrix and then 5 for reduced row echelon form. So menu 7, 5. And then on your calculator, it's going to say RREF with an open set of parentheses. Once you're there, step three is to press menu 711. And here it's going to open up a box, and here you're creating a matrix. So once this box opens up, you're going to, step four, you want to, the number of rows we want is 2, and the number of columns we want is 3. So once you fix that, you're going to press OK. And when you do that, you're going to enter the coefficients of the equations and then click enter. So let's kind of see what this all looks like on number 1. So number 1 says solve the system using matrices. So before we head into our calculator, we're going to go ahead and set up our matrix. So I'm going to open up a bracket. And here basically what I want to do is set up my matrix, what I'm going to put in my calculator. So all I'm going to do is record the coefficients. So in the first row, I have 1x, negative 1y, and then 2. So I'm going to write 1, negative 1, and 2. And on the bottom row, I have 1, 1, and 14. So 1, 1, and 14. So here I have set up my matrix. So this is basically what you should show me on your assignment when you're showing your work. So we're going to go ahead and open up our calculator, and we're going to follow those steps. So again, step 1, you should be from the home screen, you should open up a calculator window. Now from here, you're going to press menu, 7 for matrix and vector, and again 5 for reduced row echelon form. Now, you should have RREF with an open set of parentheses. Once you have that, then you will press menu, 7 for matrix and vector, 1 to create, and 1 for matrix. So menu 711. Now, you want 2 rows and 3 columns, and press enter. So now, all we're going to do is enter in the coefficients. So on top, I have 1, negative 1, and 2. And on the bottom, we have 1, 1, and 14. Once you've entered in your coefficients, go ahead and press enter. So here is our matrix, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that down. So this equals 1, 0, 0, 1, and then 8, 6. So you're probably still asking yourself, what does this matrix mean? So the first column are always your x's. The y column is always, the second column are always your y's. And then the last column are always your constants or your numbers. So here, because I have a 1 for my x value, this is telling me that my x value is 8. Now, because I have a 1 for my y value, this is telling me that my y value is 6. So here, the answer to this matrix is 8, 6. Now let's go and take a look at number 2. So number 2 again says solve the system using matrices. So first we're going to go ahead and set up our matrix. And again, when we set up our matrix, all we're going to do is copy down our coefficients for each variable. So looking at the top row, my numbers would be 2, 5, and negative 4. And on the bottom row, we have negative 3. I don't have a coefficient in front of y, so remember that means it's 1, and negative 11. So I'm going to close the bracket. Now, you're going to go ahead and open up your parentheses. And again, we're going to create a matrix. So again, the first step, press menu, 7, 5. Then menu, 7, 1, 1. And again, we want 2 rows and 3 columns, and then press enter. So once you have this on your screen, you're going to go ahead and enter in your coefficients. So 2, 5, and -4. And on the bottom, -3, 1, and -11. When you press enter, this is the matrix it gives back to you. So again, I'm going to go ahead and copy that down. So I get 1, 0, 0, 1, and then on the top row, I have 3, and on the bottom row, I have -2. So again, this is our X column, this is our Y column, and these are the numbers. So again, because I have a 1 for X here, this is telling me that X equals 3. And because I have a 1 in the Y column, it's telling me Y equals -2. So here, the solution to my matrix is 3, -2. Now, if you want a shortcut of a way of thinking of this, just always remember that your variable on top is your x and your variable on bottom is your y. So when you come to write out the coordinate for your solution, it should always be 3, -2. Always the number on top, comma the number on the bottom. So that's number 2. Let's go and take a look at number 3. So number 3, again, we're solving the system using matrices. And again, the first step, remember, is to make sure that both of your equations are in standard form. I see that my first equation is in standard form, but the second is in slope-intercept form. So when that happens, we need to make sure that our x is on the other side. So we're just going to move it over and we're going to flip the sign. So when that happens, I'm going to go ahead and copy down the first equation, x plus y equals 14. I move the x over and I change the sign, so it's now -x plus y equals -4. So now I can go ahead and write my matrix down. So again, I want to write down my coefficients. So remember, on top, since there's no numbers in front of my coefficients, it's understood that it's 1. So on the top row, we have 1, 1, and 14. And on the bottom row, we have -1, 1, and -4. And then go ahead and close your brace. So now we're going to go ahead and open up our calculator and we're going to go ahead and follow the same steps. So menu 7, 5, and then menu 7, 1, 1. Again, we want 2 rows and 3 columns. Press enter. Now just go ahead and enter in your matrix. Once you have your matrix entered, again, just go ahead and press enter. So here I'm going to go ahead and copy down that matrix. So I get 1, 0, 0, 1, and then 9 on top, 5 on the bottom. So again, these are my x's, these are my y's, and these are my numbers. So since I have a 1 in the x column, this is telling me that x equals 9. Since I have a 1 for the y column, it's telling me y equals 5. So here, the matrix, the solution to this matrix is 9, 5. Okay, now let's go and take a look at some special cases. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 4. So again, number 4 says solve the system using matrices. So again, we want to go ahead and start off by writing out our matrix. So again, I'm only going to write out the coefficients. So on the top row, my coefficients are 2, 3, and -4. And on the bottom row, the coefficients are 4, 6, and -8. So now we're going to again go ahead and open up our calculator. And we're going to press menu 7, 5, and then menu 7, 1, 1. Again, we want 2 rows and 3 columns, and I'm going to enter in the coefficients. So 2, 3, -4, and on the bottom 4, 6, and -8. Pressing enter, this is the matrix we get back. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 1, 3 over 2, -2, and we get zeros all on the bottom. So this is telling us that this is a special case. And when all of the numbers on the bottom are 0, this is going to be infinitely many. Now, a good way of thinking about this is if I take 0 plus 0, this equals 0. So I know that this is a true statement. So because both sides end up equaling 0, again, this is infinitely many. And you'll see the difference here between infinitely many and no solution on our next problem. So again, if they're all zeros on the bottom, it's infinitely many. Let's go and take a look at number 5. So again, number 5 says solve the system using matrices. So looking at um, this system, I'm going to go ahead and write down our matrix. So I'm going to copy down the coefficients. On the top row, we have 5, -2, and 10. And on the bottom row, we have 10, -4, and 15. So if I go ahead and open up my calculator, again, I'm going to write down my matrix or create a matrix. So menu 7, 5, then menu 7, 1, 1. Again, we want 2 rows and 3 columns and press enter. Now go ahead and enter in your matrix. So 5, -2, and 10. And on the bottom row, 10, -4, and 15. Now, when you press enter, this is the matrix that you get back. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that down. We get 1, -2/5, and 0, and 0, 0, 1. Now, when this happens here, this is called no solution. Okay, think of this as 0 plus 0 equals 1. Well, we know that this would eventually be 0 equals 1, and we know 0 does not equal 1, so we know this is a false statement. So again, this is no solution. And that is going to complete your notes. We're going to skip number 6 and 7, and we will look at that on a later day.